The death and resurrection of Jesus is the main theme of the Christian faith. Without the crucifixion, there would be no resurrection, and Christianity would fall apart. Because, as Paul says, if Christ is not risen, then our preaching is empty, and your faith is also empty. It's no wonder that throughout history some religions and sects have attempted to deny the death of Jesus. One of these religions is Islam. Both the Qur'an and the Hadith clearly teach that Jesus did not die, like the following surah tells us. But they kill him not, nor crucify him, but he was made to appear to them. But they certainly did not kill him, but Allah raised him to himself. Interestingly, long before the advent of Islam, Gnosticism held a very similar view. Basilides, one of the earliest and most influential Gnostics, alleged that a certain Simon was transfigured to think that he was Jesus, while Jesus himself received the form of Simon. Basilides continues by saying that Jesus ascended to heaven as a spirit. But whoever believes he was crucified, that man remains a slave, under the power of those who formed our bodies. Like Gnosticism, the Quranic account also claims that Jesus, Isa, ascended to heaven without dying. And according to some Muslim commentators, it was another man, possibly Judas, who died in Jesus' place. The similarity between the Gnostic account about the fake death of Jesus and its counterpart in the Quran is no exception. Many Quranic verses come from Gnosticism. This is why Gnostic accounts are often used by Muslim commentators to support their own beliefs. But what does the evidence tell us? Well, there is no historical evidence of the Gnostic or Islamic account. In contrast, Jesus' crucifixion is even accepted by most skeptic scholars as history. Josephus, one of the most famous historians of the first century, stated that about this time there lived Jesus. He was the Christ. And when upon the accusation of the principal man among us, Pilate had condemned him to the cross. So not only does Josephus make a reference to the crucifixion of Jesus, but he even mentions Pontius Pilate, an important New Testament character. On the other hand, Tacitus, another of the great historians of antiquity, and by no means a friend of Christianity, related that Christ suffered the extreme penalty during the reign of Tiberius, at the hands of one of our procurators, Pontius Pilate. Thirdly, we have the account of a man named Serapion, a Syrian Stoic philosopher from the 1st century who asks, "What advantage did the Jews gain from executing their wise king? It was just after that their kingdom was abolished." Interestingly, he goes on by saying that this wise king was not dead, because of the new law he laid down. Like Josephus and Tacitus, Serapion was not a Christian, thus reinforcing the evidence of authenticity. Furthermore, it must be remembered that these three characters lived in the 1st century. That is, the apostles and disciples of Jesus were still alive. For example, the apostle John died in AD 101. 1 year after the death of Josephus. Some Muslims have a problem. If Jesus only seemed to die, why do several ancient historians mention not only his death, but also his crucifixion? Where is the historical evidence showing us that Jesus did not die? The Gnostics were polytheists. They believed in a supreme being from which other gods, or spiritual beings, came forth. The farther apart these beings were from their origin, the Supreme Being, the more evil they became. According to Gnosticism, every material thing is evil. For this same reason, the Gnostics believed that Jesus, which they considered to be good, was an immaterial being. Since every immaterial thing was evil, so it had to be the God who created the earth. Of course, Islam does not teach that God is evil, or at least it doesn't teach it openly. Furthermore, it speaks harshly against polytheism. So why does Islam borrow ideas from other accounts that contradict the Quran itself?